Sometimes celebrities are faced with questions so ridiculous and sexist that it's a wonder they manage to keep their cool. Whether it's about their appearance, body, or personal life, these interviewers often forget their place. But when faced with these probing questions, some celebrities have the perfect responses, putting these out-of-line interrogators right where they belong, in their place. Let's dive into some memorable moments when stars dealt with sexist interviews with grace, humor, and in some cases, a little bit of sass. Number 11. Rihanna sets the record straight at her fragrance launch. At her fragrance launch, Rihanna was asked an utterly irrelevant question by an interviewer. Instead of focusing on her new product, the interviewer decided to ask her, "What are you looking for in a partner?" Yes, because a fragrance event is the ideal place to discuss relationship advice, right? Rihanna, not missing a beat, snapped back, "I'm not looking for a man, let's start there." The interviewer must have been caught off guard, but Rihanna's quick-witted response made it clear that some questions simply aren't appropriate for the occasion. If only more people had her confidence and composure when it comes to shutting down sexist questions. Number 10. Jonah Hill gets real about weight and looks. Jonah Hill has had his fair share of awkward interviews, especially when it comes to comments about his appearance. One interviewer dared to ask if he was still considered the fat guy in Hollywood, as if his worth was tied to his weight. Jonah, clearly unamused, didn't let the interviewer off easy. He responded with a simple, "Do you have any other questions that are smart?" It's a shame that some people still feel the need to make comments about someone's weight. But Jonah showed how it's done by turning the tables and making it clear that those types of questions have no place in a conversation. The fact that such comments would never be made about a female actor only adds to the frustration. Number 9. Jimmy Kimmel crosses a line with Jonah Hill's scent. And it didn't end there for Jonah Hill. During a late-night interview with Jimmy Kimmel, Kimmel decided to comment on how Jonah smelled, saying, "You smell good," which is surprising. Now, why exactly is it surprising that Jonah would smell good? It was a baffling and unnecessary remark, and Jonah was understandably perplexed. Rather than walk off in frustration, Jonah remained composed and responded with a good-natured, "I'm going to really work hard to not take that as a shot." The fact that Kimmel couldn't see the problematic nature of this comment is a clear reminder that not all questions are worth asking, especially when they perpetuate harmful stereotypes. Number 8. Anne Hathaway shuts down a question about her wardrobe malfunction. In the world of paparazzi and celebrity interviews, there are a few things more invasive than a photo snapped at the wrong moment. Anne Hathaway was subjected to this when paparazzi caught a photo of her having a wardrobe malfunction. When she appeared for an interview with Matt Lauer, he opened with, "You had a little wardrobe malfunction the other night. What's the lesson learned from that?" Instead of letting the interviewer shame her, Anne took the opportunity to speak on a more pressing issue. She pointed out how the culture commodifies people's vulnerabilities, especially women, and how some people profit off others' misfortunes. Anne didn't let the sexist undertones of the question slide. She used it as a chance to bring up the issue of objectification, showing how to tackle inappropriate questions head-on. Number 7. Scarlett Johansson calls out sexist assumptions about women. Scarlett Johansson is no stranger to being on the receiving end of sexist interview questions. One interviewer asked her, "What's the lesson learned from something like that?" As if her wardrobe malfunction was somehow her fault. Her sharp response revealed a deeper issue: sexism in the media and the objectification of women. She said, "It kind of made me sad we live in a culture that commodifies sexuality of unwilling participants." It's moments like these that remind us that the issue goes beyond one-off comments. Celebrities like Scarlett use their platforms to challenge harmful assumptions and encourage the media to treat women with the respect they deserve. Number 6. Anne Hathaway tackles the weight loss question like a pro. When preparing for her role in The Dark Knight Rises, Anne Hathaway was asked by an interviewer how much weight she had to lose to get into that shape. It's frustrating to think that this question was even asked. Hathaway responded with grace, expressing how absurd it was to reduce her entire performance to her appearance. She firmly shut down the question by saying, "How much weight? I'm not saying you needed to lose weight. She emphasized how the focus should be on her skills and performance, not her body. This perfectly illustrated how some interviewers ignore the hard work and dedication that goes into an actor's craft, instead choosing to focus on superficial details. Number 5. Megan Fox puts sexist questions in their place. Megan Fox, known for her role in Transformers, has dealt with her fair share of objectifying questions. In an interview, she was asked about her feet and armpit hair, as if these trivial details were more important than her performance in the movie. Fox responded with remarkable calmness, making it clear that such questions were inappropriate and irrelevant. She even joked about growing out her armpit hair for the role, but her cool demeanor showed that she wasn't going to tolerate these kinds of questions. Megan used humor and wit to diffuse the situation, but made it clear that she wouldn't let the interviewers get away with making her the subject of ridicule. Number 4. Grande refuses to engage in sexist stereotyping. Ariana Grande was asked an utterly bizarre question during a radio interview. If she could choose between makeup and her phone, which one would she pick? The absurdity of this question stemmed from the assumption that women would have to choose between makeup and technology, as if the two were the ultimate priorities in their lives. Ariana quickly fired back, questioning the underlying sexist assumptions about women's choices. She made it clear that these types of questions weren't just outdated, they were patronizing and limiting. Ariana refused to engage in a stereotypical dialogue and instead used her platform to challenge these tired expectations. Number 3. Serena Williams stands up against sexism in sports. One of the most intense moments in sports history came when Serena Williams was penalized for allegedly receiving coaching during a match. In response, Serena firmly stated that she had not received any coaching, calling the umpire out for making a sexist assumption about her actions. "You owe me an apology," Serena demanded, making it clear that women in sports are often treated unfairly in comparison to their male counterparts. The controversy escalated when Serena smashed her racket and was penalized further, but she stood her ground, proving that sexism in sports is real and needs to be addressed. She later argued that if a man had been in her situation, he wouldn't have faced the same treatment. Serena's stance sparked important conversations about sexism and double standards in the sports world. Number 2. Emma Watson calls out feminism criticism. When Emma Watson faced criticism for wearing revealing clothes during a magazine shoot, the backlash came from people claiming it contradicted her feminist stance. Emma, never one to back down, shut down the criticism by clarifying that feminism is about choice and equality. She explained that a woman should have the freedom to wear whatever she wants without being judged for it. Feminism is not a stick with which to beat other women, Emma declared, defending her right to dress as she pleases. This moment highlighted how feminism isn't about policing women's choices, it's about empowering them to make their own decisions without judgment. Number 1. Dolly Parton takes down a snide comment with elegance. Dolly Parton is no stranger to sexist comments, but her ability to handle them with grace is unmatched. In an interview, an elitist interviewer tried to belittle Dolly by calling her a hillbilly due to her humble beginnings. Dolly responded with wit, pointing out that although she came from a country background, she was proud of her roots. She also explained that her sense of style, often associated with over-the-top wigs and flashy clothes, was a personal choice, not something forced upon her. Dolly showed us all how to handle passive-aggressive questions with poise, reminding us that humor and confidence can go a long way when responding to criticism. And there you have it, folks. Celebrities turning the tables on sexist interviewers like pros. If you enjoyed this roller coaster of awkward moments and epic clapbacks, don't forget to hit that like button harder than Jonah Hill's response to awkward questions. Subscribe for more sizzling takes, and remember, if you think you can ask a celebrity about their weight, you better be ready for a quick lesson in humility. See you in the next one.